Hi, this is Tanya Sheridan from inallsassiness.com, and today I want to show you how to create this beautiful bluebell ornament from Close to My Heart's new Merry Little Christmas Ornament collection. So you can see as I rotate it, it is totally glitterified. There are sequins with accents all through it. The edges have a fine, nice glitter touch to them, and then you can simply hang it on your tree. So I want to show you how, first of all, that you can get this, how it comes, and then I'm going to take you through the process. So you can purchase a bundle. There's actually two bundles. One has just ornaments, one has just tags, one has both. Then you can also order them individually. So these are the tags. They're a nice wooden die cut weight. These have, this one has the word joy, there's a Christmas tree, there's a snowflake, and there's the holly leaves. And then there are the background tags that you can put behind them if you'd like, or you can use them for other occasions. And these are just solid with different shapes at the top. Then for the ornament collection, you have three options. We have these ornaments, which are the ones we're working with today, which are absolutely gorgeous. You also have a Christmas tree option, which is equally as beautiful, very intricate, very detailed. Looks like that. And then you have the snowflakes. And the snowflakes look like this, just depending on how you decorate it. So there's lots of possibilities. There's actually endless possibilities of the ways that you can create them. But today I wanted to show you our bluebell glitter paper and accents using the bluebell and the color of the year. So this is what the ornament looks like. It is two pieces. You can see one and one, and they do interlock. So I found that you don't necessarily need to have an adhesive with the glitter paper, but you are going to want it if you're going to use the wood naturally, because see how it slides? So you can just use whatever, glue of your choice. I like this one, which is the Aqua Tombow, but you could use liquid glass or any other type of glue, sturdy glue. But with the glitter, you actually don't even need a glue because the glitter thickens that spacing and it holds tightly together. So that way you could take it off and store it flat if you wanted to between the season, but I'm just gonna leave mine all together. Okay, so a couple of tricky things. First of all, you have the two pieces. You wanna make sure that when you pull them out of the set or the package that you have one with the little hole hanger top and one without, because you're gonna need those two to interlock. Okay, so then what you're gonna do is you can cut your ornament pieces. So when you purchase the ornament set from Close to My Heart, you will receive an SVG file that you can then download and then to your computer and then upload into Cricut. So that is what I have done here. Now, if you don't have Cricut Design Space or you don't have that capability, it's okay, don't worry. You can reach out to me and I have a way that I can cut them for you for a small cutting fee. So keep that in the back of in your mind if you love this and you don't have the Cricut file. If you do have Design Space, I will tell you one note that you will need to do is when you load the file up into Cricut, you're going to have the file as is, and then you're going to want to duplicate it one time and then hit the flip button because you need the mirror image for all these little things to line up. So learn from my error that you need to flip one set of it, okay? So these have all been cut out. They're cut out with our glitter paper, which if you can see cuts absolutely beautifully on the Cricut. So we're gonna make sure that we have the right pieces because there is a slight difference. See if I can show you. So this one fits exactly. You can see that, right? Okay. This one does not fit exactly. And the way you can tell before you get started, it looks like it does, is there's two pieces. It's up here in the right-hand corner and up here in the left-hand corner. And then those same two pieces at the bottom. So those four pieces are the ones that do not line up exactly if you have the wrong side. So that's just an easy measurement for that. So we're gonna take the right side, again, make sure that we've got the correct one. And we're gonna use our Tombow glue and we're just gonna go around and I'm gonna dab. You could use a brush if you wanted to do it that way, but I'm gonna kind of dab and pull I want my glitter to stay on. I want to give it an even spacing, but I also don't want to overload with glitter because I don't want it to seep into all of these little grooves of the wood. And I'm going to go rather quickly because I really don't want the glue to dry before I get to the point of adding the glitter paper. So this is a really nice glue in that, and the liquid glass is the same way. It has a fine tip, and so the fine tip really allows me to get into those spaces however you want to do that. Now you could also use the wide brush tip, but with that one, even though I like it for lots of other purposes, again, I was finding that the glue was kind of getting in between the seams and not leaving as finished of an edge. Okay, so that is about how much I'm going to do for my glue. And then I'm going to take this overlay and line it up. Make sure that you get the tag done at the top, and then I'm just going to kind of press down just to secure that, okay? So we have that just like that. So then we're going to flip it over to the back side, and we're going to do the same thing. And I can feel where a little bit of the glue oozed out. So you could wipe that down with a baby wipe if you wanted to. That would be perfectly fine. It's not going to destroy the glitter as long as you're just dabbing and not saturating. And one of the things I mentioned earlier that I really like about our glitter paper is that it works super well on the Cricut. I have a maker and an air. On the maker, I set it to metallic paper, and I find that that's what cuts the best for me. On the air, I set it to the poster board setting, and it seems to cut very fine out of both of them. It's relatively easy to pull off the Cricut mat, unless it's a brand new mat. It comes off very cleanly, and usually the scraps you can then use on other projects. And I typically use my scraps on with thin cuts, which are die cuts that close to my heart cells. So we just kind of keep a stack of little dies and use up the scraps because they cut so cleanly from that as well. Okay, so now we have this piece done. We're just gonna press it down to make sure, and I'm gonna let that dry for a second. And while I'm doing that, I want to do the second piece. Now this is the one with the groove. Okay, so we want to make sure, and this one's a little bit trickier. It matches. You just have to make sure that you have the right element, the right piece, because now there's 4 pieces from your cut. Okay, so that one goes there. On this one, I do want to recommend that you make sure on this inside edge that you adhere that really well. And the reason being is because it's going to slide up into the ornament. And when you slide it, you don't want it to catch or snag. You want it to make sure that you go all the way through. So again, I'm just doing these little edges, making sure I catch it all. These are very addicting. I went out and bought spray paint yesterday and all kinds of things to do different collections. So make sure you check back to see the other things that we were doing. Close to My Heart is also going to have a kids workshop, virtually of course, which is wonderful, with the fabulous Maya Wyongi. And she is, I think, maybe 9 or 10. And so she's going to teach lots of creative ways for kids to use these as well. My daughter has a white Christmas tree, and so she does it all in a ballerina theme, so it's very pink. So we have made some of these with a light pink color to decorate her tree. So the possibilities are just endless. But our glitter paper is so fabulous that I just could not wait to try that medium first. And with Bluebell being the color of the year, it's available in lots of different mediums. So we have loose sequins, which I'm going to show you in a second. We have glitter gems. We have shimmer brushes. So all sorts of things to glitterify and perfect your ornaments. Okay, so that one's gonna go there. I think this would be a great project to work on a cold night while you watch a family movie. Just grab all of your glues. So again, I'm just going to go around and make sure that I have all of these little pieces. I would also say that good lighting when you're gluing is important so that you can see where you have added your glue and where you haven't. So these will be available while supplies last until the end of December. We do make them in-house, so hopefully that will help keep them in stock. But the sales have already soared just in the couple days that they've been available. Okay, so now we're going to glue down this next piece. Make sure we get it lined up. There is a gap in the center. You want to make sure that you align it correctly on the side so that you still have that gap. Okay, so if you remember what I said before, let me wipe off my hands real quick, get the glue off. You should not need an extra adhesive, but if you find that yours is wiggling, you can certainly add it. So what we're going to do is you kind of have to spread and wiggle with these guys. I want to make sure that I don't tear it. Now for you at home, I would actually give mine a little bit more time to dry before putting it together. But for the sake of the video, and I did find, oops, see how I caught it? You don't want that to happen. And that's not going to happen if you give it adequate time to dry. But I did find that if I have a pressure point, then I'm more in control and can get it to slide better. So I'm using my table as my pressure point. And you want to slide it all the way down so that it locks, and this is pretty much flat. Hopefully you can see that on the bottom, okay? Okay, so that's where we're at to get to that point. So then what I did, I wasn't crazy about the brown edge showing. I thought it was pretty. I tried to use stickles, but if you can see on this one, which I'm good with this one, the stickles, when you added, this is clear stickles, but it turned gold on the wood. So I didn't necessarily want that feel, so I decided to cut these. You can see they are 1/4 of an inch strips. It doesn't have to be 12 inches. And that fit that space. So this is our tool caddy. This is our Workspace Wonder. It goes in a storage unit, and it is a fabulous tool. And I found that it works great to hold my ornament in place while I am attaching the glitter. And I'm just going to go all the way down, and then I'm going to line it up. Now, you do need to hold it for just a second once you get it on there. So it's going to go like that, and I'm going to snip it with my scissors once I have it into position the way I want it. I'm going to hold it down like this and just hold it for a couple seconds to get it to tighten. Oops, it doesn't want to do that right now. Let's add some more glue. You could also use a Xyron. If you use Xyron, I know a few of my customers are very in love with their Xyron machines. That would work really well if you're not a wet glue person. I'm going to hold it, and then we're going to snip it. And you can reinforce it later. You don't have to be incredibly careful with the edge at the end, because you're going to go back and put a sequin at the bottom, and that is going to hold all of those pieces together. Okay, so then I'm going to go to the next layer, or the next side. and do my glue. Now you could also spray paint these if you don't want the natural wood showing on the inside. You could use the Distress Oxide inks. That would work really well to change the coloring of that wood. The possibilities are truly endless. Okay, so here I'm going to use this to hold and then snip that little piece, just like that. And I can actually hold both of them at the same time if I want to, so that they would dry. So ideally, the way I did mine, when time wasn't a factor, is I would do one side and let it dry and decorate it like I'm going to show you in a second, and then flip to the next one. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to just decorate one side with you. If you use your little platform like this, then you now have a flat surface that you can work with here. And because you're using the organizer or whatever else you choose to use, it's going to stay flat, and you don't have to worry about the sequins rolling off because it's at an angle. So I'm going to make sure I get the best lighting here. I am going to come into these 3 spaces. So one there, and one there, and one there. So it's basically, it's the bottom of this little leaf is where I'm going. And I'm just attaching a little bit of glue, or a little blob. So on the top of that leaf, so there's 3, I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to do the same spacing on these. Now you can put them wherever you want. This is just where I have chosen. So then I'm going to take my Bluebell loose sequins, and these are gorgeous. This is using our craft jars, which is what I store them in, but I like to use them in the lid because I can then take them out easily, dump them into the little container, and I can see what I'm choosing, if color or size makes a difference. So I'm going to choose the largest of the 3 sequins, and I want to try to not have the same sequin side by side. That, of course, is a personal choice, but you can do it however you want. And then for those outside smaller pieces, I am going to use the medium one. So it's not the baby small one, but it's the medium one. And if you're more comfortable using other things like tweezers, you could certainly do that. I am good with my fingers. Okay, so we're going to do this one other one here, like that, and then we're going to rotate it. And I just think that the stand works so wonderful. I totally found it by accident. I was looking for something to hold it while I was trying to glue down my pieces, and it was sitting on my table. And it proved to be wonderful. So we used it for all the rest of our ornament making so far. Okay, so again, we have the 3 big. I don't have the same sequence that I have on the other side. I have a little bit of a difference. And then I have glue on my fingers, so they're sticking to me. Let's see, here's a silver one. I'm going to put the silver by the blue. I think my favorite is this one here. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's like a deep, kind of a matte finish. There's one there. So I'm going to put that one there because it's on the other 2 sides. And I'm going to grab one more small one, or medium one, and put that down here. Okay, so now we have those pieces in place. I'm going to move my sequins out of my workspace, and I'm going to come back. Now, I typically use the clear diamond stickles on the center of my sequins. I think it looks fabulous, but I tried this color. This is the Waterfall, and while it's truly not the same color or the same shading as our Bluebell, it actually complements it very nicely in the center of the sequence. When it dries, it really pulls those colors together. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking a small little dot, and I'm putting it in each of my sequins. and then I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to do it on the other side on all of those. Now, once it dries, if you find out that you did too small of a little blob, no worries, just go back and add another coating and so forth. So I'm gonna let this dry for, I would say, probably about 45 minutes to an hour to let it totally, completely dry. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take it and you're gonna flip it, and you're gonna do these two sides, and then you're gonna flip it again after another time period, and it's gonna work really well. So I'm gonna slide this one out and show you here. So you do these, you know, this side, you can go ahead and glue the top, let it dry, and then you can flip it and do it again in the top, just like that. And that way your glitter and your sequins aren't rolling off this glitter paper, and that works very nicely. And then you can see the fine touch of the edges. And then I just added one sequin at the bottom. I just put it like that, let it dry, because otherwise it kept rolling down, and put one at the bottom so that it connects all of those seams together and you don't see the seams at all. So I hope you like this. If you create your own, I would love to see them. You can send them to me at inallsassiness@gmail.com. You can order these on my website at www.tanyasheridan.ctmh.com, or there's a link on my blog, which is inallsassiness.com, and that'll take you right to the website. And again, if you want to do the glitter and you don't have design space, just reach out to me. I can cut them for you and then just drop those in the mail to you very inexpensively. You would just pay for the glitter paper that I need to cut, and then if you know, the shipping fee, what have you. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Whatever you do, make it sassy.